Okay.
It's only a 30-second.
So I put the countdown clock on a little bit earlier. We got one more PSA before we go live. Hey, everybody. I see you guys. If y'all are there, say hey, say hi. We got Jamal Bay with us.
Hey, hey.
Thank you all for watching. Put something in the chat, you guys. Let us know you're there. Y'all, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on Periscope, what is this? If you're watching on YouTube, we almost rich. I know. It's 1 o'clock. There we go. That's Miss Wanda. Hey, Miss Wanda. Hi, Sensory. Hey, lady. Miss Wanda said, looking forward to a great episode. Hey, everyone. How are you? It is Wednesday, and you are listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent T, and we are selling Sacramento. On my show today, my guest is Mr. Jamal Bay of Guild Mortgage, and we are talking about preparing for home ownership in 2021. So go get your notepad, take copious notes, and if you want to see Mr. Bay live and you want to ask him any questions or you have any comments, you can watch us live on Facebook at Selling Sacramento on the Radio, on my personal Facebook page, Keisha Matthews Realtor. We are also on YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope. So we are just like a MasterCard. We're everywhere you want us to be. Mr. Jamal Bay, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, Agent Key. How are you doing today?
Outstanding. I'm so excited to have you on the show today. I highly respect you. Your work ethic is amazing. All of my clients love you. Your response time, the depth at which you go in order to get them pre-approved, to communicate with them, to share the different programs and options that might be available to them, and then just how you handle the transactions. They're like, oh, they just rave about you. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
We're happy to have you as a lender partner.
Oh, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the confidence and support. It's always a pleasure working with Agent Key and the team, Matthews and Company. I appreciate you.
Now, I didn't pay him to say that, y'all. I did not. He really means it. We're going to assume he means it. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about Jamal. He's a California licensed loan officer with Guild Mortgage, and he's dedicated to helping people realize their dream of home ownership. He has an extensive background in credit counseling. Let me repeat that. He has an extensive background in credit counseling and debt management. And debt management. And Jamal understands the challenges that many borrowers face, and he is personally committed to help every client achieve success. So I have to tell you guys, this is one of the reasons. I was telling somebody yesterday, one of my prime reasons for becoming a real estate broker, not an agent. I didn't get this until after I became an agent, that I needed to become a broker, because someone needs to be out there rallying for us, rallying for African Americans, rallying. And I believe that even if I were not African American and God had called me to do this, I would still do this, to rally for the person lowest on the totem pole where there is an imbalance. There's an imbalance in home ownership in America, and African Americans are on the bottom of that, on that pole. And we are there because of government policies. If you've listened to this radio show for any amount of time, you know, and I share that unapologetically, that there were government policies that were legal, that were laws that put us in the position where we are financially, just a ton of reasons. And for that reason, as a result, our two biggest obstacles are credit and the lack of money for down payment assistance. And if you don't fit the box of most of these big box banks, lenders and banks will not look at you. A lot of them, unfortunately, well-meaning lenders. I have a lot of lender friends, but I only have a handful of lender partners that I work with in my circle on purpose, because I know that they are going to go the extra mile to help my clients and those in the African American community. They're going to look out for them and help them help walk them through the process, help get them where they need to be, right? And so I love seeing the fact that Jamal has this extensive background in credit restoration. That tells me that that's why he's able to do that. Some lenders, they don't have that, and it's not their calling, and that's okay. But I specifically look for lenders and other vendors who are going to empathize with the things that we need as African Americans to help position us for homeownership. So Jamal, I said I was going to give you the floor and not ad-lib too much. I lied already, so let me stop.
That's fine.
Let's talk a little bit about what you're seeing in the market, and then we're going to talk about what you're going to answer. There's 5 things that you're going to address today. So in general, what is the market looking like for you from a lender perspective?
Wow. Okay. So yeah, the market is as hot as ever, right? We are in the Sacramento, California market, Sacramento County. And right now there's a lot of unique things happening in our market. But in general, we are dealing with a fair amount of buyers that are in our market right now, and not so much inventory. So what that has created is sort of a feeding frenzy, so to speak, where the market is extremely hot. Real estate is moving very fast. And we are seeing that buyers are going to have to, or buyers are needing to be as competitive as possible in order to get their offer accepted. And that could look differently depending on the particular buyer. But essentially, and we're going to talk a little bit more about being prepared for your pre-approval and for the buying experience. But what it means is to be prepared at the utmost level. And because real estate is moving so fast, because we're in the hottest market, you just have to be super, super prepared and ready to write that offer when you see the house that meets your criteria. So we're going to cover some of those things that can help you be prepared. But yeah, to answer your question right now, the market is really hot. As an industry, we are extremely busy, right? Helping our clients purchase their homes, helping our clients refinance their existing mortgage. So with that said, our title agents are busy. Our settlement partners are all busy. So it's so imperative for a buyer in this market to be have all of their ducks in the row and be fully prepared.
It's an unbelievably hot market during a time when things are just so up in the air. And I heard today that real estate is one of the industries that's actually been helping the American economy stay afloat. One of the huge things. So 5 question topics that you're going to take on today. Number 1, you're going to talk about what the current market conditions are for the buyers, including loan limits and interest rates, what those rates are doing, because I did hear that they're starting to drop a little. So you'll help us with that. I'm sorry, not drop, increase. They are starting to increase. Number 2, we're going to talk about what are the steps that a buyer should take to get pre-approved, right? Number 3, we're going to discuss how to qualify if I'm self-employed. So for all you self-employed people out there who you are working hard to do as much as you can to not pay taxes, you get all these tax write-offs, and so but you need your taxes to look like something else when you're ready to buy a house. So Jamal is going to address that. And also number 4, what are the most effective tools that he is seeing success for buyers? What are the most effective tools that are bringing success to buyers in the market? And then finally, where Jamal sees the market headed in 2021 and why. So we've got a loaded show for you all today. Get your pen and papers and questions ready. Hit us up live if you have something to say in the comment section. I'll make sure that Mr. Bay answers that for you. We are going to take an early break. You are listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key, and we will be right back.
All right.
Hey, Rich,
Okay.
I see you out there, sir.
And also for your phone call listeners,
Hola, senor. Phone call listeners.
you know,
Do you have braces on?
you know,
What are you doing? Oh,
so you need to let them know that you're taking calls, not taking calls, or if we have you have an alternative if they want to take a call.
I don't think we're going to do calls today simply because there's a lot of information that Jamal has to get through that I want him to get through.
Oh, no, I get it.
Yeah,
I'm
so I'll just
saying,
say
so
it.
you'll
You're
call
saying
it, yeah,
say it.
because the phone was already like,
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Oh,
so you
so
wanna
we'll
be
tell
able to say,
people.
you know,
So we're not going to take calls today. If you have any comments, you better hop online.
there you go.
There you go.
Okay.
That works.
Or give Jamal a call directly.
Mhm.
Jamal, I'm going to pop your contact number in the
Okay.
comment section.
Okay.
Let's see, 916-299-3668 or the 5.
Oh, the 510 number. Yeah.
Okay. I just said the other one all out loud. Y'all act like y'all didn't hear that. I'll do the flashing.
It's not a button too. But also, anytime you come back on, because you don't know when your listeners are going to come in, you might want to say it again. Anytime you
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
Sorry we're not taking it all day, but if you need to
Right.
direct you in there.
So I'll just remember to say it each time I come back, because when I come back, I'm just going to introduce him and let him have the floor
No, I know.
disappear. So then I come back. I'll say it before I
That's
go
what I'm
away
saying. Yeah.
and
Anytime
when I
you
come back.
because you don't know what the code is.
So let me put Jamal's info in here. Hey, you guys, here's Jamal's contact info for you in advance. Let's see. Soft return. There we go. You said the 510 number, right, Jamal?
Yep. That's the one.
502 4850. Okay. How about should I put your email address or no?
Sure, that works. Yep, the JBay at Gill Mortgage.
JBE at guildmortgage.com. Correct?
Yep. Oh, no. .net.
Oh, .net. Oh,
Mhm.
.net. Mortgage. Okay. All right, y'all. Contact information for you. Hey, Ange. Hey, lady. How are you? Hola, señorita. Okay. All right, you guys. So there's Jamal's contact information, and we are getting ready to come back from the break and get into this thing. Okay. So whenever you're ready for the graphic, you just put it up there, and then I'll put it in.
Okay. All right, perfect.
Hey everyone, we're back. You're listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key, and we are selling Sacramento. My guest on today's show, Mr. Jamal Bay with Guild Mortgage. Say hey to the people, Jamal.
Hey, how's it going out there, Sacramento and beyond?
Yes. Oh, and I do need to tell you guys that we are social distancing. So Jamal is actually with us virtually online, thanks to StreamYard. And I really shouldn't pub them because they're not paying me, but he is he's with us online. He's not in the studio. But if you're watching on social media, you can see his handsome face on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, or Instagram. And that is under Selling Sacramento on the Radio on Facebook, or under my name on any of the other pages. In addition, if you would like to leave a comment or you have a question for Jamal, you want to jump on there and ask your question. We want to reserve the show today for him to give us all this wonderful information. So unfortunately, we will not be taking calls. So if you're trying to call, don't feel ignored. We want to reserve that time for Jamal. So we're going to jump right in and get to question number 1. Jamal, what are the current market conditions specifically? Talk to us also about loan limits and interest rates.
All right. Thank you, Agent Key. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on your show. Thank you so much, Sacramento, for tuning in. This is going to be a informative show, I hope. And we've got a lot of information to cover here. So we're first going to talk about loan limits first, and that kind of ties into the current market conditions as well. So many of you may know or may not know that the loan limits are actually dictated by the county that you're interested in purchasing a home in. So if you're interested in buying in, say, Alameda County versus Contra Costa County versus Sacramento County, each of those counties are going to have different loan limits. And then once you go over that loan limit, it's basically considered a jumbo loan or something that's a non-conforming
I think we lost
loan.
you.
Did you lost my audio? Can you hear my audio?
We did lose your audio for a second. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, we lost you for a second. If you could back up 2 sentences.
Okay, perfect. All right, so hopefully I don't cut out anymore. But thanks, Key. Let me know if I have to change my audio or something. But what I was saying is that depending on the house or the county that you're interested in purchasing in, your loan limit can vary. And what that means is if you purchase over the loan limit, then you're essentially buying a jumbo loan. All right, it's a non-conforming loan. So every year there are new loan limits that come out, and we've got a pretty significant increase in loan limits this year. So I wanted to go over that first. Sacramento County loan limits have increased, and in 2020, the loan limit was $569,000 in Sacramento. That was in 2020. So that meant that if you bought a house and you kept your loan at 569 or under, then you could stay in a conforming loan. You didn't have to go to a jumbo loan, which is more money down, better credit, all that stuff. So in 2021, it was announced that loan limits have increased to $598. Okay, so $598,000 is your loan limit in the Sacramento County region. That is a $29,000 increase from last year to this year. Okay, for us, that's a positive thing, right? Because that is the agency's predicting, right, that the values of homes in the Sacramento region are going to continue to increase. So in order to keep up with the increase in property values, the federal government had to increase the loan limits. Okay, so that means that if you're buying a house, let's say at $600,000, $650,000, and you're keeping your loan limit at $598 or under, you're going to be in a conforming loan. Okay, now I say that to kind of segue into the market conditions and what we're expecting to see for the market. So according to the Federal Reserve Bank president, his name is Eric Rosengreen, he's the Boston Fed president. He came out and talked a lot about some of the support that the Federal Reserve is going to be giving to the housing market. And one of the things that he alluded to was the fact that the central bank will be continuing to support the housing market. And the way that the federal government supports the housing market is by purchasing government bonds and mortgage-backed securities. This is what keeps the interest rates low, right, and keeps the housing market robust. As long as the federal government continues to step in and buy those mortgage-backed securities and those government bonds, right, we can expect that the rates should stay relatively low. And I say relatively low because rates fluctuate, they go up, they go down. But for the most part, in the last certainly 6 months, we have seen historically low interest rates. So ideally, those historically low interest rates are galvanizing the market and continuing to allow home buyers to realize the dream of purchasing a home, but also remember that having a lower interest rate ultimately gives you more buying power. If your rate is at, let's say, 3% versus 4%, well, that's more buying power that you have when you're out there shopping for a home. So what that does is it allows you to purchase more of a home because the rates across the board are historically low. So experts are certainly predicting that the housing market will maintain its strength in 2021. And, you know, the increased demand is being attributed to three kind of sorts of buyers. So they're attributing one set of buyers to buyers who might have wanted to purchase in 2020, but because of the uncertainty, because of, you know, potential furloughs or job loss, that option might have been taken off the table for some buyers in 2020 that might now have the ability in 2021 to purchase a home. So there's a portion of buyers that held off in 2020 and now are getting queued up to buy in 2021. So that is attributing to some of the increased demand. Also, you have existing homeowners that have realized that due to, you know, a current change in their situation, maybe they've had parents that have moved in with them, maybe their children now need more space because they're doing homeschooling and learning pods and things like this. Certain homeowners have realized, well, we might need to either increase our actual housing or decrease, right? Meaning we need to buy more of a house, right? Or we need to downgrade and get a smaller house, okay? Because maybe we don't need this big house anymore. And so that's also attributing to the demand. And then we also have owners that have purchased in condominiums, okay? And this is an interesting one. So there's a sect of buyers that are condo owners who are seeking to escape, right, living in the multifamily buildings, okay, in order to mitigate the exposure to the coronavirus, right? So they are now transferring into a single family home, all right? So the experts are also accounting for that sect of borrowers that could be coming into the market in 2021. So all of that really lends to a strong and robust housing market going into 2021. A big thing that is not, I haven't heard a lot of folks talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it on this show here, is Biden's housing campaign.
Please talk about it. We've had
Yes.
a few people ask about it, and I've not done any homework on it, so I'm glad that you have. So let us have it.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So everyone knows that come the 20th, I believe, Biden will be inaugurated as president. But before he was president, he did put out a proposal. Now, mind you, this is a proposal. This isn't legislation yet. It's not been put into law.
Right.
But this is a proposal that the Biden campaign put out, and they proposed a $640 billion investment into the housing market over the course of the next 10 years. $640 billion. That's quite a bit of money. And so the proposal is pretty large. So I'm going to, kind of highlight a few of the aspects of the proposal that I think is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is a down payment tax credit of $15,000. Okay, this is a down payment tax credit of $15,000 for first-time home buyers. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Now what I really, really like about this particular proposal is that they're saying that this $15,000 can actually be used at purchase, as opposed to the filing when you file your tax returns during the tax season.
Right.
Okay. They haven't really discussed how they're actually planning on rolling that out. So that's going to be interesting to see. But here's what I suspect is going to happen. If this proposal does come through, the $15,000 tax credit is going to be something that can be utilized and applied at the closing table or while you're in the process of closing on your home. And it's probably going to be a rebate that your lender is probably going to have to submit to the IRS or to the government. So it's a sort of a guarantee to the lender, right? That the federal government guarantees, similar to the FHA loan, right? Which is also like a government insured loan that the government guarantees for the lender that writes FHA loans. I expect they're going to do something similar for this $15,000 credit, where they will give lenders a guarantee, and that will be some sort of rebate that the lender can cash in during their tax time. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that all rolls out. But that is huge because, just thinking about the ramifications of that. If that $15,000 could potentially mean that you don't have to pay PMI because you're putting down, enough where it doesn't trigger private mortgage insurance, you could be saving an extra $200 to $300 to $400 or even more a month without having to pay PMI.
Right.
So that's huge.
Well, the thing that I was thinking about with that is right now in the market, we're seeing buyers get outbid.
Right.
And so that kind of money can come into play and be very helpful for buyers who, if they just had a $5,000 or $10,000 more, i.e. this $15,000, it could push them and make them a little bit more competitive as they're making their offers.
Right. That's very true. And as you and I both know, you had alluded to it earlier, a lot of our clients utilize down payment assistance, right? And so if you could layer this $15,000 in with a down payment assistance program, like a GSFA program or a CalHFA program, that could mean that you might not have to come in with any money to buy a home. I don't know if that's realistic yet. Again, this is a proposal, but we're talking about what could potentially be. So I think this is a great idea that Biden has put forward. Another thing that is included in this $1 billion investment is to boost the Section 8 housing voucher. Now, we talked about this a couple of days ago, that, a lot of people don't know. I think everybody knows that Section 8 can help subsidize your rent, okay? But I don't know if a lot of people know that Section 8 can actually help to subsidize your mortgage payment too.
Right.
So if you're already on Section 8, okay, there's something called a Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program. We've done these loans. They are a thing, right? It's not just a myth. They are a thing. But what Biden has proposed is to actually boost this program and allow more people the availability to use this housing voucher, because I read that only 1 out of 5 eligible households actually participate in the Section 8 because of the backlog, right, of people that are on a waiting list, right? So Biden wants to expand that.
Can you talk a little bit about how that works? If you can summarize briefly, let's say because I know that there are people probably watching and listening right now who either are on Section 8 or know someone who's on Section 8, but did not know that this possibility existed, that they could lateral over into being a homeowner out of Section 8. So can you talk a little bit about if I am that person, how do I go about making that happen?
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're lucky enough to have a facility right here in Sacramento, the SHRA. And so they are really the kind of the facilitators of Section 8 in this county. So, but essentially, just to kind of sum it up, you are getting a subsidized amount. Section 8 will tell you what that amount is. So let's say your mortgage payment is $2,000 a month. Section 8 will tell you how much of that payment they would be willing to subsidize. So let's say they say, oh, well, we'll subsidize $800 of that. And that means your payment is actually only $1,200 a month that you would be paying to your lender. And then the remainder would be paid by Section 8. And they would commit to that payment for a specific period of time. And from what I know, that time could vary depending on the person, but it could be a 10-year subsidy. It could be a 15-year subsidy, right?
So this, in essence, sounds like it works in the same manner that the traditional Section 8 rental voucher works.
Exactly.
So if someone wanted to apply for this program, it sounds like you're saying there's a waiting list for this program. So they would go to the SHRA website, shra.org,
Mm-hmm.
and they would look for, and I'm actually on the site now, and it looks like you would go under resident resources to actually get on there. But so they'd have to apply. And are you familiar with, once they apply, what those steps are? Are you familiar with that?
I'm not entirely familiar, because ultimately what happens is they come to me, clients come to me with the voucher in hand already and say, go ahead and get me pre-approved. So I miss out on the actual steps that it takes to get that voucher, but I do know that it's possible. I do know if you're already on Section 8, you're going to get that streamlined, right? Because you're already participating and you're already receiving benefits. So I think you'll be streamlined, as opposed to if you're not on Section 8, then you may have to go on that waiting list because there's so many people that would have already applied ahead of you. You see what I'm saying?
Got it.
So, but definitely.
I do see that there is more information about that on the HUD website as well, at hud.gov under Housing Choice Voucher Homeownership Program. Mm-hmm. So if anyone is interested in looking into that, you may want to go there as well under hud.gov Homeownership Voucher Housing Choice Voucher Homeownership Program. That's a mouthful.
That is a mouthful.
That's good to know. It's good to know that there is an option or an alternative because Section 8, if you're on it, it doesn't have to continue to be a cyclical thing. That there's a way out, and you should be thinking about homeownership. So it's wonderful to know that option's available. Right.
And it's huge. And the fact that the Biden campaign has identified that there are some issues, right, with making sure that everybody gets their money, and committing to trying to boost that program up so it's available to more people. I think that's huge. Mm-hmm. So a couple of other things in regards to the housing proposal from the Biden campaign is the refundable tax credit. So this is different than the down payment tax credit. This is a tax credit for renters. So what this does is you can get a refundable tax credit if you spend more than 30% of your income on rent. Okay, the Biden campaign has came out and said that it would be the goal that you would spend 30% or less on your housing expense. But we know that that's not always a realistic assessment, especially if you live in the Bay Area or one of those places that has really high rent. Some people are spending 50%, 60% of their income on rent alone. So this refundable tax credit is a means to try to curb, right, the amount of rent that one would spend over 30% of the income. So I think that could be, very helpful for those that are renting now. Maybe they can't qualify right now for a home loan and they plan on continuing to rent for 2021. That might be something that could definitely be helpful. Here's something that I think is also very interesting. So you guys may have heard about this or may have not heard about this, but a few months ago, Brookings Institute found that homes of matching quality and amenities in predominantly Black neighborhoods were valued 23% less than those in neighborhoods with fewer Black residents. So I think this portion is interesting. So what's happening is that the appraisals on these properties owned by Black residents are coming in lower than the appraisals on properties owned by people who are not Black in neighborhoods that are not predominantly Black. Okay.
Right.
And
Jamal, just really quickly under that, to add to that story, there was a news story where they had a biracial couple, where the husband, between the husband and the wife, the reaction that the husband got, who was Black, was different than when the wife corresponded with the appraiser. And I want to say that I'm not sure, I'm trying to remember, there were two different valuations given. It was higher when the wife was present and the husband was not. Same house. And I'm trying to remember exactly what happened, how that number came to be. But it was a part of that same dialogue by the Brookings Institute. And then just in the neighborhoods overall. But go ahead. I just wanted to bring that up.
No, I'm glad you did. And I do vaguely remember seeing that story of the couple. And so that's obviously a problem, right? That's obviously a big problem. And
are they saying they're going to address that, the Biden administration?
They are saying they are going to address that. So they're committed to eliminating unfair property appraisals. Okay.
That'll be interesting to see how that happens. I'm looking at the clock here, Jamal, and I want you to be able to get to the next two questions. We'll have to come back and discuss the Biden plan. How about that?
Yeah, definitely.
Specifically discuss the Biden plan.
Okay.
But I would like for you to talk about the steps that a buyer should take to get pre-approved.
Okay, definitely. I can definitely talk about that. So, I want to probably do this in order of importance. So I think one of the biggest tips, the biggest steps that one should take is give yourself time. Give yourself time. Like, so, you can think of this as like, okay, Best Buy has a sale on TVs, 60-inch televisions. And it's $1,500 for this new television. Chances are, right, you're not just going to run down to Best Buy and window shop on that particular television. The first thing that probably goes through people's mind is, oh, okay, $1,500, that's not bad. I can probably swing that. $1,500, okay, I got that in the bank, or you know what, I got this credit card, I can put it on this credit card, or let me go get a Best Buy card, and I can put it on the Best Buy card, and we'll have a big 60-inch screen TV. And so I relay that to, a $250,000, $500,000 purchase, right? Don't fall in love with a house without first knowing how you're going to pay for it. And that's one of the things I would say is give yourself enough time to interview lenders, to allow that lender to present those options to you, allow yourself time to consume those options, to digest those options. We do this stuff every day, so some of it is just second nature to us. But for most people, it's a lot of unfamiliar foreign terms and acronyms and program types and things that people just need time to digest, right? What's an FHA loan versus a conventional loan? Why should I go with one versus the other, right? I mean, if I put down 5% versus 3.5%, how's that going to affect my payment? Do I need to put down $20,000? I mean, I got 20 in my bank account, but I hear about these down payment assistance programs, these first-time homebuyer programs. What's going on with that? Let me explore that, right? So you need that time. And so what I see a lot of times is that we fall in love with the house, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? It meets all your criteria. It's got the bedroom bathroom count you want. It's got the lot size. It's perfect for you. But if it's perfect for you, then it's probably perfect for 10 other people. And those 10 other people might be prepared because they've been working on their financing for some time. They've got their pre-approval letter in their hand, and they're totally confident that if they write this offer, they're going to close on the property.
Let me ask you this question real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of us as African Americans, according to the stats, we aren't even thinking about home ownership. We're in survival mode and living month to month. And I say African Americans, but that could be a lot of people. That could be anybody in America.
Sure.
If I'm not even window shopping, and I just and I'm listening to 97.5 FM, Selling Sacramento, and Agent Key is talking about just have the conversation.
Yes.
What is the next step for me? Because I'm not even where you are. I don't even know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So what should I be doing and thinking about? What's my next plan?
Definitely. Well, I would say for sure you need to see a lender. You need to see your local lender and assess where you are in the process, right? That's truly the first step, right? To getting the pre-approval. You need to see a local lender, and you need to kind of determine, okay, where do I stand right now, right? Understanding the factors that we are looking for as lenders is also very helpful. For those longtime listeners of Agent Key's show, you might have heard the last show that we did together, I think maybe in November, where we spent the whole show talking about the things that lenders look for. And that was credit, income, and assets, right? What's your credit score? What does your income look like? And what do you have in the bank or your 401k or your stock account, whatever the case may be. And those are the things that we are going to help kind of piece together for you and make sure that your situation matches our guidelines that we have in order to initiate a loan for you.
Now, if I come to you and my situation does not match your guidelines, what is the next step? Do you just kick me to the curb and say, okay, well, come back after you get your credit score up? What happens?
So what we do, if in a situation with credit, we simply look at the credit score. As you mentioned, I've got a lot of experience looking at credit scores and credit reports. I've looked at thousands in my lifetime. And so I can quickly look at a credit report and kind of tell what it is that's holding your score down. But the good thing is I have some really cool tools. I'm tied directly into Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, and I can run credit simulations that are going to tell you exactly what you need to do. So we call it the credit plan. We put you on a credit plan. We say, pay this card down, delete this collection, remove this account, whatever the case may be, and we'll get you there. And if you need to get to one of our credit repair team members, we can facilitate that. Or if you think you can cover it on your own, we will keep you accountable by following up with you every month or two and just seeing how you are in that process. Because again, we want you to succeed and buy a house, right?
Now, what about money? Now, I've only got $1,000 in my bank account, but my credit score is 700, and I've been working on my job for 5 years, same job, state of California.
Right.
$5,000 a month.
$5,000 a month. I mean, that's doable. So in that case,
but I've only got $1,000 in the bank.
You only got $1,000. So you meet two out of the three criteria that we need to get you pre-approved. And money is subjective, right? You could hit the lottery tomorrow, but the reality is that we do have programs to help in that situation, right? We have down payment assistance programs. I'm an approved lender with all of the programs that are offered from the state. And so that is something that we can work with, right? That's something that we can work around.
So you would actually walk me through what my options are for down payment assistance and closing cost assistance.
Exactly. Later on, I'll show you what we use to kind of project what those costs are going to be. And so that part would be interesting. But yeah, we definitely let you know exactly what it's going to cost to buy this house with and without down payment assistance. And then same thing, we put you on a plan to get that. What is it going to take for you to save up X amount of money? And let's do it, right?
Now I'm kind of jogging through these questions because I want to get you in. I want to get everything answered before the show ends, and I want you to be able to do the graphic presentation in our the last part of the show. So I want to ask you this question also because this one is huge.
Yeah,
I'm self-employed. How do I qualify?
Right. I get that a lot. So one thing about self-employed people, unlike employees, right? Self-employed individuals get the opportunity to tell us, the world, IRS, mortgage lenders, what their income is. Your business could make $1 million a year, but that $1 million a year business has expenses, has deductions, has tax write-offs. And most of the time, business owners are trained, and many CPAs and accountants will structure their taxes so that they don't have a huge taxable liability at the end of the year.
Right.
And they do that by using tax write-offs, using deductions, using business expenses to limit their taxable liability. So that is called your net amount. So your business has a gross amount and it has a net amount. Your gross is what your business makes in receipts and all of the income. Your net amount is what you make after all of the business expenses are said and done. And so we as mortgage lenders, we are going to go by that net amount, okay? And that's very, very important, especially because taxes are here set to be filed in a couple of months. So if your goal is to buy a home in 2021 and you are a self-employed business owner, the way you file your taxes this year is going to have a direct effect on how much of a home you can qualify for. Because of that reason that we go by the net amount and we average out that net over a 2-year period, okay? Over a 2-year period. I have to say that because there's all kind of misinformation out there. But we usually are going to use 2-year average, whether it's 2020 and 2019 or 2018 and 2019, to determine what your actual income is. Okay?
Jamal, we need to take a break, but I want you to finish what you're saying when we come back. So don't forget.
Okay. Okay, we'll do.
When we take a break, you're going to come back and finish talking about how to qualify if you're self-employed and what the most effective tools are that you're seeing to help buyers be successful. Thank you all for tuning in to the show today as we discuss the home buying process for 2021, how to get her done. You're listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key, and we will be right back.
All right.
It's a lot of information and a little time. I'm watching the clock and trying to make sure you get it in. I'm like, oh, because I know your knowledge about all of this is extensive, and I wish I had more time. But that's I know. See, he just said part 2. We did a part 1. Jamal, your video of our show is actually on my website.
Is it?
The videos that you first see. So if you all are listening right now, if you go to my website at agentkey.com and you scroll down, the video that Jamal referenced earlier, the show that he referenced earlier, how to qualify to buy your first home. So I don't know if you guys, let me see.
That was a great show.
To my website. Is that the screen? Yeah, so that's my website. And if you scroll up, Jamal's show is right here.
Yeah, there it is.
Mr. Bay.
There it is.
How to qualify to buy your first home. So you can watch that entire episode on my website at Agent Key, AGENTKEE.com. But yeah, so on there, he goes into more detail. And I wanted to be able to have you talk about as much as possible on the show.
Yeah.
But
But
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to glaze it a little bit. Just
Yeah, that's not a problem. That's not a problem. We got all the important highlights covered, so I think that was good. But the Biden plan is going to be huge, I think.
And
to come back
we
and
do.
talk about that.
Yeah, we do need to come back, and it'll be a good time probably in April, I'm thinking, because by then he'll be in office. Things will be a little settled. We'll see if he's actually trying to work on any of that. And then April is like right at the beginning of the spring market, I should say. Start to heat up. So Quentin Ivy, Quentin, you're saying, can you afford to live here in California? Can you afford a $2,000 note per month? I think Quentin was attaching that to something that we were maybe talking about.
Yes, I think so. He was about, this was probably relative to the Section 8 information.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that's the other thing too. And we can't really get into that too much, but employment and incomes, affordability.
Right.
It's one thing to get a $15,000 credit or, bonus or whatever you would want to call it. But then how do you maintain, once you get in? Oh, we're back that fast.
Definitely.
And affordability. Hey everyone, we're back. You're listening to 97.5 FM KDEE. I am Agent Key. We are selling Sacramento, and my guest on today's show, Mr. Jamal Bay with Guild Mortgage. Jamal, Jamal left off talking about how to get qualified if you're self-employed. Jamal, do you remember where you left off, sir?
Yeah. So we were saying if you're planning on buying a home in 2021, tax season is upon us. So this is a great opportunity. Now that you know that we go by the net income, not your gross income, this is a great opportunity to be mindful about how you're filing your taxes, work with your tax person and your mortgage lender. What I do in those situations is we will analyze your most recent tax filing. So say we have your 2019 tax return and you're planning on filing in 2020. We can look at your 2019 return and at least calculate your income based on your 2019 return and give you some sort of guidepost to say, okay, if you wanted to buy at this purchase price, this is how much income you really realistically would need to make based on your specific situation, your credit outlook, your monthly liabilities, etc. And then at that point, that is where the your CPA, your accountant, your tax professional can take over from there and work their magic and do what they need to do. But that's the important key about being self-employed. You get a huge benefit because you pay your taxes last and pay yourself first as a self-employed person. But with that said, make sure that you're claiming enough income to buy that house that you want to buy.
Now, you also want to share some effective tools for buyers. Can you do that in 3 minutes?
I think I can. Sure.
Okay.
I think I can. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if we can do this here. Hold on. Oh, gosh. All right. Let's see how we can do this.
So if you are watching us on Facebook Live, Jamal is going to share a graphic as he talks us through this. If you are listening and you'd like to see the graphic that he's sharing, simply shoot me an email at agentkey007@gmail.com, and I will get that information to you. Oops, there we go.
All right. Key, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can. Can you see it?
Yes, I just want to make sure. Okay, so one of the best tools that I have used, and I've been using this tool, I think for going on 3 years now, is what I call a total cost loan analysis. Every single client that comes to me that gets pre-approved gets one of these total cost loan analysis tools, and what it is it's a report. And if you can see my screen here, what you're going to get is a comparison report. So the way that it works is if we pre-approve you, this is actually an actual report from an actual client. So this client got pre-approved for $525,000, and this was an FHA loan. We did layer this in with down payment assistance from CalHFA, which is the California Housing Finance Agency. And what we did with this total cost analysis is we compared 4 different scenarios for the borrower. Of course, the max purchase price of $525,000. That's the 4th scenario that you see from left to right. But we also compared $400,000, $450,000, $500,000, and then of course $525,000. This is a great tool for buyers, because when you're out there and you're shopping and you're looking at different homes, it's hard to immediately correlate, well, this home is worth this, so my payment is going to be this. My cash to close is going to be this. That's an important part in your decision-making process. It's not always the bedroom, bathroom count and how well the home looks. Of course, that's a huge part, but also, what is the affordability factor? Is this house worth the payment that I'm ready to pay? And also, is it, if I wanted to offer over asking, what does that look like? And I think this tool has helped my buyers come to those decisions much more quickly. Like I said, it's a fast-moving market, so you need to be able to make decisions on the fly, and you can't always wait for your lender to get back to you to run the numbers. So I think this has been a great tool for me and my buyers in order for them to quickly make decisions on the fly based on the house that they're interested in.
I love that. And I put Jamal's information in the chat. And if you're listening, if you'd like to reach Jamal, you can reach him by phone at 510-502-4850. Again, that number is 510-502-4850. And he is with Guild Mortgage. Or you can email him at jbey, J-B-E-Y, at guildmortgage.net, guildmortgage.net. Mr. Bey, again, I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. It's been a pleasure and an honor. We got to have you back again. We've already discussed it during the break. You'll be back in April because we're going to discuss the Biden housing plan. So you heard it right here, guys. Tune back in. Thank you again all for watching and listening. And remember, if you are doing what you were created to do, I will see you at the top.
I remember.
All right.
Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate
it. You're welcome. You're so welcome.
See that in there. Woo.
Yeah. Wow. That was like speed dating.
But you did it. You did it. You get a second date. You'll be back in April. Thank you again so much. So this
You're very welcome.
Uploaded to podcast tomorrow, and it'll get boosted out, so it'll live on a little bit longer.
Good.
Probably for the rest of the month of, what are we in? April through. We are not in April
At all.
We are in January. Yes.
January. Right.
January, and then the first couple of weeks of February.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Wanda. Olivia says, please repeat Jamal's number and email. Of course.
I have one quick question.
Yes, sir.
If you are already in, like, you have a mortgage, and can you then still come into that Section 8 mortgage assistance?
Oh, if you already have a mortgage, can you? I was going to say downgrade or upgrade. So if somebody already has a mortgage, can they lateral over?
Yes.
That's to be honest, I do not know the answer to that question. I'd have to find out. So my gut tells me that if you're not already on Section 8, it's going to be difficult to transition, like I said, because of the waiting list and everything.
This is just how we think. We're like, wait a minute. That's not, well, I'm assuming you'd have to fall back on in a situation where you'd have to be a Section 8 recipient again. Like if you're saying your circumstances change. Well, yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
It's plausible. It's
Oh
plausible.
my gosh. Okay, so now he's just trying to come up.
No,
Okay.
no.
Somebody else?
No, it's and for common knowledge too.
Oh, okay.
But for someone else, definitely. But for common
But
knowledge.
yeah, I would probably think not, but they'll take my word for it, because if that were the case, then anybody could do it, right?
Mhm.
Miss Olivia,
Mhm.
I want to make sure you got Jamal's information. Did you get that? I put it up on the screen, but it's also in the comment feed. I thought I'd be able to grab it and copy and paste it, but it won't let me.
She didn't get it.
I don't know. Olivia, if you're still there, let me know if you got his information. I'll repeat it out loud just in case. 510-502-4850. So his phone number is 510-502-4850. And he's with Guild Mortgage. His email address is jbey@guildmortgage.net. jbey@guildmortgage.net. I guess I could have put it up while I was saying it. All right, sir. Okay, everybody. Thank you all for watching. Jamal, look up at your monitor and say hey. Look up at your there you go.
Hey.
To your camera.
Hey.
Do a screenshot. There you go. All right. Thank you,
right.
sir. Thank you, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Talk to you
Take
soon.
care.
Thanks.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And